Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Tim. So this video is explaining hardcore facts about the Bible. So you have to move past the opinion part and look at the convergence of archaeology, science, and art, and the architects' own documents. This is the evidence that the Bible is the source code and the digital shadow is a deliberate trap. Now, let's talk about the hard drive fact. The Dead Sea Scrolls before 1947, critics claimed that the engineers changed the Bible over centuries, and then a shepherd found the Dead Sea Scrolls in a cave. These scrolls, written about 200 or 300 years before Christ, are nearly identical to the Hebrew Bible used today. The data itself proves that the Bible was preserved with a 99.9% accuracy over a span of 2,000 years. The source code hasn't been corrupted. Okay? Let's look at fact number 2, and it's called the biometric fact. Okay? The dopamine hijack science now confirms that the digital shadow, which is aka social media, gaming, infinite scroll, so all those hours that you spend scrolling on YouTube, scrolling on TikTok, it's all meant to hijack your brain. Okay? It's engineered to bypass your free will. Sean Parker, the first president of Facebook, admitted, and this is the exact words. The thought process was, how do we consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible? It's a social validation feedback loop, exactly the kind of thing a hacker like myself would come up with because you're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology. It's not a conspiracy. It's a public it's a publicly admitted business model. The architects are using digital drugs to keep you in the survival trance, so you never seek the narrow path. The archaeological fact is the fact that the glitch, for years scholars claimed the Bible was a fairy tale because it mentioned a massive empire, and I can't even pronounce the name, and no historian had ever heard of them. In 1906, archaeologists discovered the capital of that empire in modern-day Turkey, including thousands of tablets confirming everything that the Bible said about it. Time and time again, science catches up to the Bible. The Bible doesn't change. Our discovery of the facts does. The predictive fact about all this is, another one is the 1948 reboot. The Bible, Ezekiel chapter 37 and Isaiah 11 predicted that the Jewish people would be scattered across the entire world. Then, thousands of years later, returned to their specific land as a nation. On May 14th, 1948, Israel became a nation again after 1,900 years of non-existence. No other ethnic group in history has ever been scattered for 2 millennia and then returned to their original land and original language. And the implication about all this is that this is a mathematical impossibility unless there is a master programmer outside the system ensuring that the prophecy executes. The prophetical fact, the cashless infrastructure, the narrow path warns of a system where no one can buy or sell without a mark or integration into the system, which this is shown in Revelation 13. And here's the fact about it. We are currently seeing a global push for CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and biometric IDs. the technology to control every single person's ability to buy or sell globally exists right now. And this is the first time in human history. And here's the implication about all this. We are living in the first generation where the hardcore facts of the end times prophecy are technologically possible. The convergence, when you look at all these facts together, you see a pattern. The Bible is historically and significantly bulletproof, or scientifically bulletproof. The world system is openly admitting to hijacking your brain. The technology is lining up perfectly with a 2,000-year-old code. The architects want you to think that all this is religion, so you don't realize that it's actually reality. That's the truth about it, okay? So if you want the truth, there's the truth. The technology is right here. They have it right now. And that's why they're pushing for it. See, I've been working on trying to come up with something to make into a video. So yeah, that whole thing I had to copy and paste. Or I had to write it up to where I can try to remember all this. And try to prove to y'all guys. The facts is right here. Okay? The Hebrew Bible is 99.9% accurate, which means it was well preserved. Okay? There's the evidence is right there. We are living in the end times, plain and simple. If you want to know how to break out of the system and still be able to function, what you do is you put down the phone, you cut time playing games, or you put down the games altogether. It's your choice. Everything you do is literally being controlled, even how you eat. Brain fog. Why do you think it's so hard for you to concentrate to read the Bible? It's because you're used to other things. So the other things compared to what the Bible is going to be two completely different worlds. Your brain's already trained to think differently. It's like, oh, hey, the Bible's boring. I don't understand it. Well, it's not just about understanding it. It's about knowing when to tell that your brain is hijacked and brain rot actually exists. Okay? Why do you think? I mean, that's one of the reasons why Amish don't really get into technology, is because, like, it's a distraction. Yeah, I'm going to cut down on play games. I'm not going to, like, here's something for you. The enemy doesn't care that you read the Bible, just as long as you do it on their hardware and on their systems. What that means is that basically they don't care if you read the Bible. What they care about is what you read the Bible on. Okay? The reason why they like it whenever you can read the Bible on a Bible app is that even though the developers of that app have good intentions, you're still reading it on the architect's hardware. Now, I call it the architect because an architect is someone that lays out the blueprint as to how something's going to go. Okay? The engineers put it all together. And then there's people like us that use the product that comes out. The devil's the architect, the puppeteer behind the curtain pulling all the strings. Okay? The engineers are the CEOs and tech giants. Some of them might think that they're doing mankind a favor, but in reality, they're not. Okay? And there's a lot of people out there that don't see it like this. Yeah, I know, I'm putting a target on my back by making this video. But if y'all guys want the proof, this is the proof. The question you have to ask yourself is it better to be a comfortable slave to the system, Or is it better to be a free, targeted person? I don't know about you, but I'd rather be targeted and free, doing God's will, than be a slave to the system. I'm not going to do it anymore. So I'm cutting down on my game time. Saturdays or Sundays, one of the two is going to be my fasting day. Those are the days that I'm going to hold the Sabbath as God commands us to do. This is what it means to put God first. There's two paths, the narrow path and the broad path. The broad path is always going to look shinier than the narrow path. Simple as that. We're being watched by the algorithms. Why do you think a lot of tech giants out there put tape over their cameras? It's because they use how dilated your eye is. They can use they can use technology like that to be able to tell how much a dopamine or a happy chemical, you can call it that, is going through your brain. So they know how to determine what's going through your head next as to what you're going to do. That's one of the ways they're able to tell. The technology is out there. They're pushing for it. The technology's right there. What the UK is doing, the foundation as to what the end time system is going to be like is right there in front of us. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. Time's running out. If you want to get closer to Christ, you have to make a choice. If you're spending more time on your phone than you are reading the Bible, you're not idolizing. You're not putting God first. You're idolizing your phone. You're not idolizing, or you're not putting God first. You're idolizing your phone. If you're spending more time watching TV, or watching the news, you're idolizing. You're idolizing. Period. You're spending more time with technology than you are with God. You're not putting God first. It's okay to enjoy it, but it becomes a problem when you let it consume you. Now, I'm going to start working on me. I make this video so that way, hopefully, just maybe with a little bit of luck, whoever sees this video can see what I see now. And I'm telling you ahead of time, it is not going to be easy. Once you start going against the grain, there's going to be some friction. The devil's going to start throwing things in your path to get you distracted, to get you to give up. But it's also like an enemy that's already been defeated. He's on a leash. The most he can do is test you. The most he can do is tempt you. The most he can do is to get you to give up. And he does that by convincing you that he doesn't exist. Don't be fooled. He's out there. He's pulling the strings. He's at the top of the pyramid. The tech giant CEOs of major corporations is second, and everything else follows. And that's how the system works. Everything is rigged, even the food that you eat. Why do you think unhealthy food is cheaper than real food? Because it forces you to make a choice. Put God first. Let him worry about it. You just worry about what you can handle today. He'll plan for tomorrow for you. That's the truth. I hope y'all have a blessed day.